there's a lot of research out there that really indicates by sending an actual like gift or physical item, the value of that item and how much the recipient remembers it and the like engagement and motivation, it has a much higher increased value than like a monetary gift because that just gets in the moment, it's a very high satisfaction, but it gets forgotten about really quickly.
This podcast is brought to you by Hey Taco, the only peer-to-peer recognition platform that uses tacos to help teams around the world share gratitude. I'm Doug.
I'm Una.
This is our podcast, Amazing Teams. Hey everyone, welcome to the season 3 of the Amazing Teams podcast, where we explore all things that make work better. Today, we are excited to be joined by Katy Carrigan, CEO of Goody. Katy, welcome to the Amazing Teams podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Of course.
Katy, tell us a little bit more about what Goody is.
Yes, absolutely. So, in a nutshell, Goody is a gifting platform helping companies celebrate their employees, clients, prospects. We actually originally started out as a mobile consumer app, launched right at the end of December 2020. And we created this app, put it out in the world. And something that we realized pretty quickly is that the people who were using it the most and spending the most money were professionals. And that really indicated to us that there was a gap in the market, that people wanted a easy to use tool that had gifts that people actually wanted and were excited about giving in the professional context. So we made a pivot towards the end of 2021 to build a tool for companies. And that's really been our focus over the last 4 years, is to provide a platform, a marketplace that allows people to come in and easily celebrate important relationships with items that people want at the end of the day.
I received a gift from Goody probably in December or January and was such an awesome experience. I did not want to choose my reward until I was in person with a team so they can experience with me what choosing a reward looks like. Does everyone get to choose what they want to purchase from Goody when they get a gift?
Yeah, it is one of our like foundational ethos here is the gift of choice, and the idea really letting your recipient pick out what they want. So I'll say the majority of times a gift is sent on Goody, you're either picking what you want from a budget set by the sender, or you have this ability to swap a gift. So even if someone has sent you, let's say, cookies and you don't have a sweet tooth, you want to swap it for something else, you have that option. But at the end of the day, it is up to the sender. So that's actually a setting that they get to choose where they can decide, do they want to give that recipient choice? But we highly encourage it when someone's sending a gift.
What is the most purchased item in the Goody marketplace?
Ooh. Okay. So on the sender side, people are, like I said, traditionally sending a gift of choice, meaning that they're coming in and they're setting a budget and then letting the recipient choose. So what the recipients are choosing is really interesting. So the categories that tend to do very well are wellness and home goods. So that tends to be where people are leaning in. And so like last holiday season, for example, whitening strips were really popular. And I love that. And like a tea kettle and air fryer had also been some pretty popular gifts. And so I love thinking about those because you would never, as an employer, like gift those items to your employees.
Like, here's an air fryer for all your outstanding contributions to the team.
Exactly. But people love the air fryer. It still gets chosen very frequently.
That's amazing. What is the most popular day to gift employee rewards?
Employee Appreciation Day is always our highest volume in gifting day. So the holiday times is always super busy, but that's like, every day for like a 3 to 4 week period is like super busy. But if I think of like the one day where we see the highest gifting volume overall continues to like be our high watermark is Employee Appreciation Day, which is typically the first Friday in March. So we're finding year over year more and more companies are celebrating this holiday. So if your company isn't celebrating Employee Appreciation Day yet, I would highly recommend marketing on your calendar, talking to your leadership team. It's becoming just a very common day for employees to feel celebrated. And I bet your employees will probably be feeling left out if you're not doing it.
We've had a lot of teams send crazy taco amounts during Employee Appreciation Day. So they send a lot of recognition messages. Doug, what's your thought when you hear about employee rewards and you added the reward option into Hey Taco like years ago, custom rewards, right? When you hear about all these rewards, how does it make you feel?
I'm intrigued. I mean, obviously, Una, you know the story behind the rewards addition to Hey Taco many, many years ago. Yeah, I mean, obviously have opinions on rewards here at Hey Taco, um, mostly around monetary rewards. Connecting monetary rewards to recognition and using it as a motivator. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's what comes to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, don't like monetary rewards are great. Don't get me wrong. I think everyone can appreciate a little bit more money in their pocket. But on the gifting side, do find that there's a lot of research out there that really indicates by sending an actual like gift or physical item, the value of that item and how much the recipient remembers it and the like
Hmm.
engagement and motivation. It has a much higher increased value than like a monetary gift because that just gets in the moment, it's a very high satisfaction, but it gets forgotten about really quickly.
For
So
sure.
true, especially like the more generic, like an Amazon gift card, like you just apply it to your next household purchase.
Exactly. And I think our whole thing is really concentrating on what are gifts that feel really high quality that you maybe have been eyeing or want to like try that brand yourself, but you haven't wanted to spend your own money on it. And now you all of a sudden have the opportunity to get that item or try it out. Everyone's been talking about all these great recipes that can make in an air fryer, but you just haven't been able to justify buying one for yourself. And now, oh, cool, I can actually get this item that I've been wanting to try and not feel guilty about accepting it and choosing it versus if I get an Amazon gift card and be like, oh, I should apply that to household items or groceries.
It feels a little, what's it called, splurging if you purchase something else on Amazon that's not your next household bill or Whole Foods bill or whatever.
So, do you guys curate the items that are available? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we put a lot of thought into the brands and products that we're bringing into the marketplace. So we are definitely trying to have a very big marketplace so everyone can find exactly what they're looking for, but doing it with that eye for curation. So thinking about that, if we're going to have a candle, we don't want to have like 50 different candles, but what are like the cool, great brands, the different ones that can work for unique situations that you're sending. So we do think a lot about the partners that we're bringing onto the platform
Mhm.
as well, because we know a lot of companies also like to shop with values. So we tend to look for brands that can help complement those values of the company. So whether it's sustainable, female founded, BIPOC founded, et cetera.
That's cool. Now, can the customer also curate, or do you curate for the customer?
They can also curate. So we do have
Okay.
that functionality where if a customer wanted to go in and say, "Hey, I want to give my employees choice, but not like the entire catalog. I'm going to curate it down to 5 items, 10 items." They have that ability to do so. And we also do swag as well. So customers also have the ability to come in and put their logo on the physical items and our swag selection. And we have a lot of areas that people can digital brand as well.
Gotcha.
It's so fascinating because you have to be really good on the merchandising end and understanding kind of what do people want before they even know that they want it. And always have this catalog that's being refreshed and renewed. Like probably, when Dubai chocolate goes viral, you're like, how do we get Dubai chocolate in our catalog? Whatever. Like you have to be so on top of things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like I think water bottles are this interesting example, right? There's always a different trending water bottle from it going from like Stanley's to Awala to I think Frank's is like a popular one now, but it's like constantly like to Lark. Like how do we make sure that we're offering the coolest water bottle at the moment? So it is a lot of that about staying on trend. And we just constantly try to keep the catalog fresh. So a fun stat is that we're adding about 50 to 100 products a week.
Wow.
Now, when you add, you take away items?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're constantly kind of like recycling out. Now, it's not always like a one to one. Like if we add, we have to take something out. But if something's not doing well, if something's not, we're about to go into summer. So we're beefing up our kind of like outdoor activities, warm weather type of products. We're not going to, we can turn off more of those like winter type products.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's oftentimes the merchandising team is doing a lot of work to make sure that products feel relevant and
Mhm.
exciting.
As an expert in employee rewards, what do you see companies do so poorly when it comes to rewarding their employees that you're like, please stop doing that and start doing something different instead?
Yeah, so I think at work anniversaries is a really interesting one because I find that companies are either not doing anything like programmatically. And so what happens that goes really poorly is that some employees are getting recognized, but others are not. So that's always like really, I would say, poor experience because it's okay, my, desk mate over here got a balloon on their desk for their 3-year anniversary because it was on a Wednesday, but because my anniversary fell on like a Saturday, no one recognized it or cared about it. So that's something I would say is like a really big thing to look out for. So on the people side, I think it's important to really put that policy in place and then just make it systematic where you are using a program like Goody or Hey Taco to make sure that that's just automatic, that people's anniversaries are getting recognized and celebrated. And then if you're doing it, make sure that the recognition is equivalent to like the years of service. So I don't know if you all ever get into the Reddit threads, but there are some really, really poor work anniversary gifts I've seen. Like someone was posting recently, it was like their 10-year anniversary and they got a mouse.
Like a computer mouse or a live living mouse?
I actually think a live living mouse would be better, but
I
they have
agree. It would be way better than a computer mouse.
Uh,
yeah, a computer mouse. It's like, here's a mouse to like get your job done. Like that just, so what we're seeing that companies are doing really well, and to your asking earlier about can you do particular curations, is that the companies who set up like solid service anniversary programs have different items and gifts to pick from at different years of service and they increase. And it's very
Mhm.
clear that it's increasing. So your 10-year gift is going to be nothing like your 1-year gift because, hey, you literally just gave a decade of your life to this company.
I know that feeling.
I feel like in that case, it's better to not give anything than to give a poor gift, right?
Mm.
Because it leaves such a bad taste in the mouth. You're like, oh, I'd rather have not just gotten a high five or don't even mention it.
Yeah, or just like a nice thoughtful note, like a
Yeah.
card, nice thoughtful note, have people sign, but like then putting like a very small item with it that just really doesn't represent the amount of like
Hmm.
time, effort, energy you just put into the company over the past X amount of years just doesn't land well. So I would definitely recommend that companies are celebrating work anniversaries. And then when they implement a program, make sure that it's systematic so no one ever gets missed and that it's representative of the years of service that someone has put in. And I've seen like companies maybe don't have they don't think they have the budget to do this, then maybe we're going to do like every 1, 5, 10 years. So there's
Hmm.
these different milestones. Or there's really fun programs I've seen companies put into place that at each milestone, there's a particular gift that really represents. So if you have that on your desk or if you have that piece of swag,
Hmm.
it means you're part of this club or
Hmm.
you're an employee who's been around for X amount of years. So there's different ways too that I think companies can think about how they can instill their own brand into
Hmm.
that type of event instead of just being like intimidated of, oh, I don't have enough budget or that seems like it's too much work to organize.
To not get recognized because your anniversary is on a weekend, it feels like being born in July as a kid and never getting to celebrate your birthday with your friends at school,
Yes,
right?
yes. Oh, I love that comparison. Exactly.
Just doesn't feel good. Okay, before we get into your team at Goody, how do you do employee gifting at Goody with your team? You obviously use Goody to reward your employees. How does it go? What milestones do you celebrate? Things like that.
Yeah, so we do work anniversaries, and we do have different gifts based on tenure. We do birthdays as well. We also always celebrate Employee Appreciation Day. We celebrate Goody Anniversary, as in like the company's anniversary,
Mhm.
and holiday gifting. And then there's also, I definitely encourage my managers to send gifts like ad hoc or as needed after like a big project sprint. Someone on the team has a big life moment, marriage, baby, etc. Really great to use the platform. I do like to on work anniversaries, birthdays, holidays. I don't tend to send like branded gifts. So I let people really choose from the catalog. And then things like our company anniversaries tends to be like a more of a swag store
Mhm.
type gift. So yeah, we are using it all the time.
That's awesome. Are there any items that you've had in your marketplace that were controversial that you had to remove? And if not, that's fine, but I'm just curious.
I don't think anything necessarily, like, controversial or spicy
Hmm.
in that type of way, because I think they're probably filtered before they hit the platform. Like, we have enough of an eye there,
Hmm.
to be thoughtful. I will say that, there have been, like, times where we put up products and then we realize, like, quality issues, and so we
Mm.
would take them down. And sometimes the way we realize that is enough people have, like, pick the item and they're giving us feedback, because after a gift is received, we always send a survey to our recipients,
Hmm.
like, how's your gift? And it's really great. It's an opportunity for us to hear directly from the recipients on if they really enjoy the item or if there's an issue. And if we see that there's, like, a trend on a particular product, we'll just take it down, because, we want to make sure that we can really stand behind that things are meeting high quality. So, or it could sometimes be like, we had one vendor who had this great set of mixing bowls. They were beautiful, but the way they packaged, they were constantly being showing up broken,
Ooh.
because it was like a nested one. So, like, the third bowl was constantly showing up broken, and we were just like, you guys got to fix your packaging if we're going to keep
Hmm.
sending it. So we do have, because there's that whole logistics part
Yeah.
of, like,
Yeah.
sending the physical items that we think about. So that tends to be why we'll take away items. We do have things like, Manscaped on the platform, or Mac Welding that has, like, boxers in it, or, like, shading stuff, but I don't people choose it all the time, and I think companies are fine with it. So
Nothing, no Shinesty products.
yeah.
Yeah, Shinesty. Do you have Shine? Are you familiar with Shinesty?
No.
Okay, when in your free time, it's not very public appropriate, but you should look at shinesty.com, and they just have the most hilarious swag that's like themed and stuff. And it's definitely, I mean, you'll just, I see you looking at it right now. It's just like the website, just the front page will tell you everything you need to know about the brand. But I'm a fan of their marketing materials.
Okay. All right. I'm excited to dig into this.
They're just silly. They're just silly. I don't think it's good for employee gifting necessarily, but
It depends on
they're
your
just
company.
silly.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us more about your team. I saw you had a retreat recently on LinkedIn in Banff. How big is your team? Where are you located? Tell us more about the composure.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 32 full-time employees. We do have a number of contractors that flex up and down during our, like, holiday season, as you can imagine, but we're 32 and strong. One of my favorite facts about Goody is that our average tenure is 3.5 years. And Goody started in December 2020. So we have the majority of our team has actually been here from, like, very early days. And I think that is a testament to how amazing the team is, and how much everyone enjoys working with each other. And those retreats are really important because we are a fully remote team. So we have a little bit of hubs in, like, New York City and San Francisco, but overall, people are all across the US. We have a couple people in Canada, a couple in Brazil. And so once a year, it's really important that we bring the entire team together for a full week.
2020, not the best year to maybe get started in business, right? With COVID happening and so much change happening. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think actually it was, like, in the same way, though, was everyone was, like, distributed. It was, like, really hard to send a gift to someone,
Yeah.
like, "Where are you?" You would have to, like, text them to be like, "What's the address?" "Do you have any allergies?" Like, "Can you get it to somebody?" So I think it's also as a result of us being really distributed and a bit more isolated during that time, where something like Goody was, like, this amazing tool, like, gave people an opportunity to still feel
Yeah.
connected and celebrate loved ones without having to, do the logistics or figure out how you were going to actually get a gift to somebody.
That's a great point. Yeah, because it's not like you're in the office and you can just drop it on somebody's desk and thank them.
And the asking of the address is such a pain point, right? It's like, what's their address? Am I going to get it right? This way you send a link and they just get it. It's such a more awesome experience.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And our thing too wasn't just like, not just sending a link of, oh, fill out this form, but how do you maintain this really delightful recipient experience to, open that link and feel that
Hmm.
dopamine hit of
Hmm.
unwrapping and seeing that card and thoughtful message. So we really think a ton about that recipient experience as well.
Doug, that probably resonates with you as a UX guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that's the way that's the way you do it, right? You think about the user, the person using it, the whole the copy machine thing, think about the people that are actually going to be using your machine and solve their problems and think about their experience using it.
100%.
Katie, what do you think has helped majority of your team stay at Goody for such a long time? And especially through the pivot from the B2C to the B2B model?
Yeah, I think as we have grown as a company, there's been new, like interesting, unique challenges. And I think, and the longer people tend to stay with the company, they get this deeper context. So they can hopefully feel more empowered to take on those challenges. So even though maybe their background, they don't have that particular expertise, but they have the expertise of Goody. So now they can take that point of view into that challenge to help solve it. So I think that's continued to help keep people around is that as we grow as a company, it's important for me to think about how are they also growing as employees and having new opportunities to help like learn, okay, so the company went from, 0 to 1 million, 1 million to 10 million, and now we're on this journey to our 100 million mark. And the challenges are going to be a lot different than they were from 0 to 1.
For sure.
What's your biggest challenge as the leader of the team when it comes to the team? Not necessarily the business, but the team, the growing and scaling team.
Yeah, one thing that I sometimes find a bit difficult or something that like I think a lot about is we are a small team, right? So we're only 32 people. We're hiring a few more people, but we're not going from 32 to 100 employees quickly. And so what that means is that I like to have this like flat of an organization, I will say, is like we can to allow for hopefully quicker decision making, more empowerment. But then I think it gets very hard because traditionally the way people think about how they move up in their career is that corporate ladder of there's like, I'm going to be at this level for 3 years and then I go to the next level and the next level. But when you're small and we have very few levels, it's harder to know exactly like, well, what defines the next promotion level at Goody? If it doesn't mean that I can give you like more reports or it changes your reporting position generally because you can't really go beyond my reports right at the moment. I can't be the the manager of 32 people here. So I would say that's something that's pretty challenging being smaller is that I think, to before the reason people stay is when they feel engaged and there's like they see growth in the in
Mhm.
themselves and their and becoming like a stronger and stronger professional. And a lot of times that we taught that equates to like title changes, monetary changes, et cetera. But as like a small company ourselves, it can be difficult to really define like how do we celebrate that growth in a way that makes sense for us as a company and you as a
Mhm.
professional and what that means for your resume.
Have you found any solutions that work, at least for now, in terms of how to help people, yeah, grow without changing, 5 different levels of management in a smaller company?
Yeah, no. So we're gonna I wish I had some advice or I guess if anyone listening has something they thought or if you guys have any ideas there. But I think one thing I will say is that I try to be a really transparent leader and communicative leader. So like, talking about like one of the challenges we're facing here, I try to talk openly about it with the team. It's not that like I don't want to get everybody like a VP title or make or change the titles. It's just like I have to think like, well, what does that actually mean like longer term? Or if we were
Yeah.
to grow to the team by another 20, how does that like slot in? Like what are we
Mhm.
setting? So long term advance. So hopefully with a lot of open conversations with the team, we can figure out a solution together that makes people feel like, they're getting rewarded properly for the amount of
Mhm.
effort engagement they're putting into the company and they're getting that growth. But it also makes sense for us long term as we're setting up the business.
Yeah, it's a super hard question. I used to work at a company where we had different levels and roles, and with each role, there was different set of results, but the role doesn't correspond the title. Like the title is kind of you put on LinkedIn whatever helps you get your job done, right? Like don't make yourself a CEO if you're not. Like there's only one, but just say whatever, VP of sales. But internally your roles could be these 3 roles that take care of these results, and each of those kind of has like levels you go up, and it turns out it attracts people who don't care about the title, right? The title is a little bit of like a vanity metric because it's external. But internally, it's a lot of like, are you making an impact on the team? And are you getting compensated in a way that makes you feel valued and that's in line with your career goals, right? So it sounds like with your team, they probably feel more compelled to be a part of a growing company to get to the $100 million than whether they have a VP title or not.
Yeah, I think so. And I hope so. And then I think on my side, the best thing I can do is for everyone here is to just be as honest as possible, like what we can offer and where we're at. Because I
Yeah.
do see, the end of the day, it is like it's a contract between two entities. So like, hey, this is what we can offer you. This is what we need and expect in return. And you're like this, okay, great. I agree to that. I can meet those expectations and you all meet this side. And I think what's really unfair that a lot of companies will do is that they withhold information from their employees, not allowing them to make decisions with all the
Mhm.
data available. And so then they feel in the dark, they're not going to be as engaged, they don't understand why something is or isn't happening. And so I'm very much in the like overshare freebie camp of like,
Yeah.
I want people to know exactly like what we're doing here, where we're at, what the goals are, what are some of the challenges, why, we can't do X, Y, and Z, or why we're going to like focus on this area versus that. So then everyone can feel empowered to make the decision that's like best for them. Because if I have people consistently choosing every day that they want to show up here and this is the right place for them, we're going to have way better results and get to our results faster than trying to like drag people along.
Have you, after you started sharing things, did you have people quit who were like, "Yeah, thank you for sharing. This is not for me, and I'm gonna opt into something else"?
I wouldn't say quit, but I would say like a big thing here at Goody is we definitely like have high like we look for high performers and like in the point of my expectations that I think if people don't meet the performance, then we'll sometimes have to have a conversation that it's probably not right because of our expectations of what we need and from this role
Mhm.
or an individual, we're just not quite getting from you. Of course, hopefully getting people the opportunity to like step up and see if it is a fit. But we've had moments like that with that we needed to just really question of like, is this the right environment for you to be set up for success? Because it's another thing of being a small company is we don't have a lot of like room for like a ton of like mentorship in the same way because everybody has to have so much ownership in their role that and like we've had to realize that too as we hire is that as much as and I'm excited for the day when we can bring in people who are like who are a bit more green or just like new professionals, but at this moment, like we just don't have the bandwidth to coach people
Mhm.
and set them up for success in that. So on that side is like we know that, and then therefore the people we bring in, we expect a lot of autonomy and output from them. And again, that's kind of part of what the relationship is. These are our expectations and what we need from the role, and if you can't meet them or this isn't the right place for you to be successful, then yeah, maybe it's not the best fit.
Sounds like you make those decisions quickly. Not too quickly, quickly, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you learn, right? And you learn
Yeah.
it, you hopefully, and it makes us better, I think, as hiring the more we do it to also then how do we best ensure that, again, even in the interview process, we can be super transparent of like, for us, if you're joining Goody, you're not going to have the same holiday break that maybe other people have or that your family has. Like, it's just not the reality of our business whatsoever. Like, it's our busiest time. It's all hands on deck. You shouldn't be taking PTO during Q4 really. Like, that's not something we do. We do the first week of July off as a company. So everyone has summer break. So I do think it's important to find other ways to like make up for it because I know that's a traditional time, but I would never want someone to join and then it become holiday season and then they're like surprised or they're like, oh, why am I working on Christmas Eve?
That's really interesting. You kind of make me wonder, do you see like a seasonal pattern with business, I'm guessing?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Interesting.
it's similar to any commerce, right? Like, this isn't, I think what's different is that, I'm sure B2B SaaS and Lease has, like, Q4 can often be big for them or whatever their Q4 is, but, I would say, like, as a marketplace, we're much more similar to, like, e-commerce patterns where, right, they'd also see spikes during holiday times when, just spend is much higher overall
Mhm.
for consumer products, so it's very true, and then you'd imagine even more than e-commerce, we're like a gifting company. And what's very cool, and I talk about it a lot with my team, is that we're not manufacturing intent here. Like we don't need to do that. Like gifting intent is super high all the time. This is something that
Mhm.
is, you know, human nature to us. We've been doing it since the beginning of time of like a way to indicate to someone that they're valuable is to use your resources, time, money, etc. to, caveman time. So I'm going to bring you these rocks, these things I hunted, right? To showcase that like I appreciate you. And that's still something we're doing today with right whatever our resources is to celebrate one another. And what we're doing here at Goody is just making it so much easier to do that and almost like and a better experience in doing it. So my thing all the time is like, the intent is out there. People are doing it. How do I just make sure they're doing it on our platform? But to the seasonal question, the intent of doing it is so incredibly high when it comes to November, December. And so a lot of people discover us during that time as well.
That makes sense.
Katie, very simple question. It's very broad. Feel free to answer it as you wish. But what do you think makes work fundamentally better?
Yeah, that is very
It's very broad, so you can define it for yourself as you wish.
I think we're fundamentally better when I think about what is feeling like you're solving a really interesting problem. I think that's what I really enjoy in every day. That the problems can often change, but I like overall, I do think that like we're looking to solve a problem here, and like kind of going back to this. So, like a lot of people are doing this thing today, but they're not doing it in the best way that they possibly could. So like we're starting to answer that in a better way. And now like one of our big problems is how do we get more people to know about it? But having like your problem well defined or an interesting challenge or problem you're looking to solve, and then like truly believing you can solve it, I think makes work more fun and engaging.
I think that's a great answer. Uh, Another question,
I don't know if
not
I
quite.
interpreted that correctly. I don't know if there's right or wrong. It's a very personal experience.
Another question, not as great as that question, but definitely burning. That tower of books behind you, is that on your to-do list, or is
Look at
that,
that. Like, I hope you can also see
I
the.
love the color coded, by the way, color organized.
Okay. I love a physical book. I love to read. I try to get a Kindle that just, I don't know, I need to like turn the pages. I like carrying it around. So I do. And then because I love looking at my books afterwards. So the majority of those books I have read. Some of them are on the list, but I have read most of those books. But it's
I
been
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
no, totally fine. Um, but yes, I have different stacks for in different parts of the apartment.
What types of books do you like to read?
Um, I would say I think reading is like one of my escapes. So I tend to like fiction. I like
Mhm.
historical fiction, thrillers. And then we have a Goody Reads book club internally, and I'd say we tend to do more business focused
Mhm.
books. One that has been the most popular thus far from the book club has been Unreasonable Hospitality.
Oh, so good.
So good, right?
Yes.
Yeah, really inspired the team. We still talk about like our blue spoon moments internally. So if you read the book, you'll know what that means. But so I like with the team, that's when I tend to get my more of like nonfiction business reads. And so then we can kind of discuss and think about how we can incorporate some of the themes into Goody.
That book, Doug, is about is it Union Square, the name of the restaurant group in New York? They got a Michelin star and stuff, and it was about how they integrated the kitchen and the front office, like the dining room team, to like produce a unique experience. But what I love about that is they would do crazy stuff for their guests. Things that definitely like if someone looked at it, it would be like the ROI, zero, negative, right? And we often think about the ROI so much. It's like sometimes like I think Tony Shea said, "What's the ROI of hugging your mom?" Like, you just do it. Like, you don't think about the ROI. So that book is definitely a good like pros in the camp of sometimes you just do the right thing, even when it costs you money. It's okay, right? Things will be fine.
And it's like, and right in the long term, it pays off from like the word of mouth, the brand awareness, so just like again, positive experience and the that someone associates with your brand.
Mhm.
And so when they like, they ate dinner there once, but then whenever someone brings up New York, it's like, hey, I had the best dinner of my life
Mhm.
at this place. And so much part of that was beyond the food, but also the service.
Has this book inspired your team to create such a moment for a customer or a gift receiver so far?
Yeah, I think particularly it's definitely inspired us a lot in particularly like in different CX issues of like what's the right way to handle this? How do we ensure that someone is happy with the experience even when something goes off? But on one that I think is a really good example is one of my CSMs, she's incredible, but she had a call with a customer who mentioned something about collecting soil from different parts of the country. So then she asked the team to all send her bags of soil. So then we could label them, put them in cute jars we have from the marketplace. And then she sent this customer soil from different places that good employees were
That
at.
is amazing. What did this customer how did they react? I just envisioned this person opening a box with like dirt from, from all over the country.
But I mean, they were incredibly appreciative and like, that's truly like going above and beyond. Right.
Mhm.
And that's it. And I think that's what's been really cool is that at the beginning of a lot of, I would say, like sales calls, particularly, there's all of the like, try to get to know someone, you're being friendly, break the ice before you get down to business. But I think what this indicates is that, oh, when you do that with Goody or you do that with someone from our team, is like we're actually listening. And I think what's been really fun for that too is we think about it because we have this wonderful marketplace of goods. Oh, one of the customers I'm talking to said that they're having a baby or they're going to get married. Okay, well, I need to make a note of that so then I can like send them a gift for that occasion
Mhm.
coming up. So, and I think that's like what the big part of it is. It's just like listen to people, like see people for who they are outside of like their work, their profession, but as just like humans. And then what are like small acts that we can do to like celebrate them?
That's awesome.
Doug, should we go into gratitude?
Let's do it. Katie, thank you for joining us on the podcast today. But before we let you go, we do something on the podcast where we let you give out tacos. So for those listening that don't know, with Hey Taco, everyone has 5 tacos to give each day. And you can give your tacos to someone to recognize them for something they've done or to just simply show your appreciation. So Katie, the question to you is, who are you giving your 5 tacos to and why?
Yeah. I am going 5 tacos in question on giving out tacos, as this is my first time doing it. Can I split my tacos up?
For the purpose of this exercise, you can do it any way you want. You can give all your 5 tacos to one person, or half a taco to one, half a taco to another, however you'd like.
We had someone give them to themselves. So yeah, however you want to give your.
No, because the first thing that just came to mind is I took a few days out of office. And so I always really appreciate that I have such an amazing leadership team who can step up to really take over and make sure I have coverage when I'm out. I think another big part of having a fun place to work is making sure your employees like take a break and recharge. So we try to, as much as I know I sounded really harsh on like Q4 no PTO, but like throughout the rest of the year, I do love people taking breaks and recharging. And so I really appreciate that my leadership team give me like great coverage and I was able to take some time off this past week.
It's a pretty
Perfect.
good taco. Before we wrap up, I do have to tell you. So I've heard about Goody. Obviously, a lot of our customers use it. But I went to a conference and your team had a booth, which was, by the way, the most fun booth because it had swag and a wheel. And I mean, all the booths were empty by day 2. Your booth was not. And I talked to someone, I believe it was your VP of sales, and I'm blanking on her name. And I said, hey, I'd love to talk to someone about teaming up Hey Taco and Goody for rewards. And the next day, you sent me a note. And I was like, oh my God, she passed on that information. Because sometimes you just don't know. People are like, oh, whatever, I'll forget and stuff. The next day, you're like, hey, let's chat. So taco to her for actually doing what she said she was going to do. Sometimes you just never know when you meet people at first. So truly
No, it's
appreciated
just
that.
she's Shereen, she's part of my leadership team and exactly for that and where, I can, have, being out and have that coverage because it's a group of people who, say what they're going to do and they actually mean it. And there's a lot of action to back it up.
Exactly.
So yes, absolutely. And I was excited that she did introduce us. I still think we need to get that integration going.
Oh, for sure.
We would love to power your reward marketplace.
So will the people who are listening to this podcast, trust me. So coming up, thank you, Katie, again.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for listening. One of the important things about building a team is gratitude. If you're looking to add more gratitude into your team, check out heytaco.com. We are clearly biased, but it really does work. Use the code AMAZINGTEAMS to receive 15% off for the first 3 months of your subscription.